The only bad job, the finance minister said the other day, is not having a job. Well, today the government made it clear if you don't have a job and you're on EI, well, that's no good either. It unveiled new rules for claiming EI. They hit the chronically unemployed hardest, and they redefine suitable work. But some see a big problem with the plan. The CBC's Laurie Graham has the details for us tonight. Laurie.
Peter, the government is spending $21 million to get people off EI and on the job. But some people are asking, what job? Cape Breton has one of the highest unemployment rates in the country, well above the national average.
There's half-decent jobs here. The people around here are not lazy. They're going to have them themselves. So, like, the jobs just ain't in this area.
But the government is redefining what is a suitable job and what is a reasonable job search, taking into account a number of criteria, including the unemployed worker's personal circumstance, the type of work, and commute time.
These changes are not about forcing people to accept work outside their own area, nor about taking jobs for which they are not suited.
But the changes will make it harder for frequent EI users to refuse work. Anyone who has had 3 or more EI claims in the past 5 years that total more than 60 weeks will be put on notice. They have 6 weeks to find a similar job at 80% of their previous hourly wage. After that, they'll be pushed to take any job they're qualified to do at 70% of their previous hourly wage.
We know from our own experience, unemployed people look for work. They want to work. They don't want to be unemployed. The jobs aren't there.
Stats Canada says there were 237,000 unfilled jobs in February. That's one job for every 5.8 unemployed workers. The government says it will enhance the Federal Job Board, drawing on a wider range of sources, including the private sector. And it plans to make part-time work more attractive by allowing people to keep more of their EI benefits at the same time.
So what we want to do is make sure that the McDonald's of the world aren't having to bring in temporary foreign workers to do jobs that Canadians who are on EI have the skills to do.
Ada Mashari is an organic farmer who collects EI at the end of every season.
McDonald's is just about exactly the opposite of what how I want to be contributing to my community.
This is not 1970. We need a system that provides greater assistance for individuals to move off EI and fill the vacancies that exist in our workplace today.
And another change to EI, Peter, support for parents of murdered or missing children. Starting in January, the government will provide a payment of $350 a week for up to 35 weeks.
All right, Laurie, thanks very much. Laurie Graham in Ottawa. Well, frequent claimants, like the ones Laurie talked about, are not the only ones affected by the changes. Long-tenured workers and occasional claimants will be too. Long-tenured means people who've mostly worked over the past 10 years. They'd be allowed to refuse a job outside their usual occupation if it pays less than 90% of their previous salary. But after 18 weeks, they'd need to expand their search to jobs similar to their usual one and accept a salary at 80% of their previous one.
I don't know if the government realizes how difficult it is right now. For instance, myself, I have 2 university degrees. I feel like I'm 20 again, just graduating from university, and I'm looking at retail positions.
Occasional claimants would be able to limit their job search to their usual occupation for the first 6 weeks and jobs at 90% of their previous salary. But after that, they'd have to expand their search to similar jobs at a lesser salary. At 18 weeks, they'd have to take any job they qualify for, as long as it pays 70% of their previous salary.
Finding a job actually is a full-time job. I know a lot of people don't know that, but it takes a lot of time to find something.
Laurie mentioned commute times, too. A commute time to get to a job is going to be considered reasonable if it's 1 hour from home, longer if you live in a major city.
The only thing I could see being a problem would be the travel expenses, and then I could see if you had kids and stuff like that.
Parental benefits that fall under EI are not affected by the changes.